Wednesday the 31st of August. I'm performing at Big Nose Comedy as Zebranos. Big Nose Comedy becoming one of my own personal staples. Always great performing there. Technically not September yet, but went into my last gig intending to start some new stuff this week. So it's always a little bit more nerve-wracking starting things that are brand new, fresh out the box. You don't know how it's going to go. I touched on a couple of the bits that I wanted to at different points in last month, and seemed to work out well. So I'll try my best to do a good job with this new stuff. It's always going to be shit at the beginning. My memory's terrible, as we say. I always forget jokes, so that's probably going to be the biggest challenge. But you know, I went into August. It was going to be a really heavy month, so the heaviest gigging month I've had since I've started, and I intended to hopefully leave the month with a good 5 minutes, which I think I did. I think as good as I can get. I mean, shit, it's not going to be live at the Apollo, but it's as good as I'm going to be able to get it within that month. And I felt like, all right, I've got a solid set that I can actually take out and work and perform with a relative amount of confidence. These things vary, you know, some rooms these stuff work in and some they don't, but in terms of like, all right, I couldn't just say, here's a 5 minutes, boom boom, there you go. More than happy with that. It seems to have done well this month, so I'm just going to put a pin in it for now, work on some brand new stuff today and see how we go. So I've got a friend of mine who's coming, hasn't seen me for a little bit, so there's an aspect of me that wants to show what I've worked on this month to see what he thinks of, because I kind of value his opinion when it comes to this stuff, and he's really helped me out a lot during this process in terms of just kind of like bouncing ideas off in a lot of ways. But he's been away, so he's back now. Shout out Emilio, you'll see him later. But today I was thinking, all right, I need to have a point of reflection and say I went in with an intention in August, and it kind of worked out for me. So maybe that's part of my process, and you know, go month by month and try and come up with a new bit, something like that. Or because I also felt like I was getting bored of what I was doing. You end up repeating the same shit, and you just get kind of bored, and you lose interest, and you just find yourself not being able to work on it so much that you're like, even I'm starting to get stale with this. So that's why it's nice to, I guess part of this is kind of thrill seeking, you know, as much as you can do on a, you know, stage where you're not going to, anything bad's going to happen. But yeah, we're going to try and get a nice good minutes within September. I've got a weird kind of month because I've got like lots of gigs one week and then no gigs the next, and then lots of gigs one week, no gigs the next, then I'm away. So I'm going to see how that works. I'm trying to be a little bit more generous with myself and my time, as much as I want to kind of work on my craft. And you know, some people in these most successful videos and blah blah blah, you've got to commit to it fucking every second of every day. But unfortunately I have other commitments, and I don't know even if I'm that intense when it comes to stuff. I'm just not. I'm very considerate, and I try and kind of work through these things in the way that I want to work through it. So to what success, I have no idea, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing so far, and we'll see how tonight's gig goes, which should probably be a train wreck. I won't be able to talk, I won't be able to get my words out, but if I'm able to get some, I might even for the first time, I've tried not to take up like notes or write things on my hands or do anything in terms of bringing books up, but it just might be necessary. I don't know, I'll think about it and see how I get on. Yeah, I have no idea, but yeah, we'll see. Because it's going terrible so far. I fucking hate cats. Cats are fucking terrible, alright? They're dickheads, isn't it? So I'm a dog owner, but it's not one of those cat versus dog things. It's like, I don't like a piece of shit type thing. You know? They walk around the house like they own the place. I'm the one that pays rent. Because you know that cats are literally the only animal that brings you bad luck. It's true. Well, except for rats, right? I mean, ever since I got them as pets, women have been avoiding me like the plague. Do you know, it's been going that bad, I thought I'd be ending on a shit one.
Well, but after you've got
15 seconds. All right, 15 seconds. Yeah, my dad is disappointing me. He said he can't count on me. Calls himself a maths teacher.
That will do. Give it up for him, Mr. Rally. Choose a number between 1 and 4. Daniel. 1 and 4. Number 2, a very wise choice. Darcy Mallon.
Right, so Emilio's, look at him smiling, he's nervous.
I'm enjoying myself.
First time you've been, isn't this not the first time you've been on TV?
Well, on your TV.
Yeah, there you go. On like and subscribe.
It
Make
might
sure
be
you
the
do
first
that.
time No.
Emilio insisted that we actually just watch back the set that I just did. Right, what did you think? What do you reckon? Me, show, everything.
Of you.
Yeah, go for it. Kill me. Be honest. Be honest.
I thought it wasn't terrible.
Do you know what? Right, today that's fine. I'm happy with that.
I thought that the thing I think right is that I think there are some funny ideas in there.
Yeah.
And some of them you did land well and people got them. Some of them I thought were maybe slightly too chaotic.
Yep.
And I think that people don't always necessarily follow exactly what you're saying.
Sure.
And that doesn't necessarily mean if they did, they'd be excellent jokes. I'm not saying like.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
all
that's
about
the hope. So.
Yeah, that's the hope. but I think your stage presence is very, very good. And you go up and your character is really good and really likable.
Yeah.
And I think probably people warm to that.
Yeah.
But I just think probably some of the delivery needs to be just more clearer.
Sure. So you know, like before, I said I'm going to try something. I said earlier it's going to be a bit of a shit show, right?
Yeah.
And that was because, like, I wanted to try a lot of new stuff. It's going to be all over the place. It's going to be chaotic. And like, now I've gone through a few rotations of trying new jokes. I understand that unfortunately I can't do a great show every time. It has to be that way.
If you do new stuff, I guess the first time is always going to be the worst.
Yeah, because I think what it seems to be, as far as I can tell, is that you work on the taglines, right? The jokes, the setups, the gags are going to be all over the place, and then you build the narrative and you understand the placement of each joke, right? So then once I realised this joke works to a degree, this joke doesn't work, this joke works, you gather all the ones that you know work, and then you build a set. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's what I think is happening. So for me, to say it wasn't the worst is pretty good. Like, listening back was good because there were some laughs in some of the jokes.
Yeah.
The way that you make it, well, I imagine from like filling the room and really getting laughs is when you really piece it together and build a set. And that's when it kind of starts to make sense
and
the
it
momentum.
build and build.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is, the first part of it, you know, the racial stuff, that's the stuff I've been doing for the month.
Yeah.
So it's really funny because I started the month really well, and I feel like I've actually gotten worse at comedy to a degree, because that set has done really well at points, and sometimes it hasn't, and maybe it's down to my delivery. Yeah. Today was a tough room in terms of feedback. I'm not saying the audience is shit. I'm saying feedback was hard to gather. Yeah. You know, and I spoke to that comedian afterwards.
Can I say another thing, which is that when you went on, you tried to make a joke about the room.
Flat.
Which really bombed.
That fucked me up.
And and I do think that if it hadn't have been for that, probably, or it's possible that the whole thing could have been easier.
Potentially.
I feel like that got you on a bad foot. And then you went into the race stuff. Yeah. And the first line of it, I've seen other videos where you do it and people do get it from the first line. Yeah. Today, no one laughed in the first line. And I feel like if they're not going to accept the concept at the beginning, probably the rest of it is going to be difficult as well. Yeah,
and it was all over the place, but I guess that's kind of part of it. So like for me, I'm going to listen back. But it wasn't bad. It does the job. You haven't seen me for a bit.
There were some really fucking bad people. So.
That's not from my mouth, all right, David, all right? I love the show. I love the people. I love everyone. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, there was some tough people out there, you know, but that's what you got to try, and that's the kind of show they're putting on. Gong Show, you know, it was more gongish than it's been in a while than I've been to, but. Yeah, I don't know. Rory came to one here when I did it for the first time. You said the exact same thing. It was a bit like chaotic, but it was the same. I was trying some new stuff. Yeah. You asked me as soon as I came on, how did I feel? I feel fine. Like, in the past, I probably would have felt a bit more down about it because I always want to do a good show, but I don't think that's possible.
Well, I suppose now you've got so many shows that each one is a smaller percentage of your output, and so if it doesn't go that well,
it's understanding. Right? Like some. It's easier to accept bombing when you know that the joke has worked another time before.
Okay, that's true, yeah.
It's a shame, and it's also easier to know that for me to create new jokes, I'm going to have to eat some shit.
But then I guess it's also difficult because then it's kind of chaotic in the sense that sometimes people fucking laugh, sometimes they don't. How do I know what's good and what's not?
I have no idea what tomorrow's going to come, like when it's set there, because I don't know, so I think about it and hopefully it'll be a little bit more formed. Because like, you know, the Greek guy he was bombing and he just lost composure. Yeah. You know, at least for me, in my perspective, I just kind of carried on. Yeah. I don't think I seemed phased, did I?
I don't think
Maybe
so.
at points I was stumbling over words.
You didn't seem phased.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't say you didn't seem
I don't know. So how was that? How was your interview? Oh, someone noticed. I'm here with a celebrity. Do you know this guy?
Of sorts.
Oh, look at him, really even bringing it down. Emilio Calisicchio of the Daily Newsletter. Is that right?
Yeah, sure.
Nice. Thanks for coming out.
That's okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I feel bad actually because I got picked on to answer questions.
Yeah.
And
you did a great job.
Really,
And Summer's joke was fantastic. What a
but
callback.
I feel like other than that, I feel like I made it sort of difficult for that guy, and I feel like I shouldn't have done that. I should have just played along a lot more and just been.
I think you did a good
willing
job.
to-
Maybe there was a bit, but I guess that's kind of his job, and he's good at it. Like he's someone that should be challenged. But he's good at it. He did a good job with it.
I was thinking afterwards that he said about was my day good, and I was like,
You was a bit. You went no.
Yeah. Well, no, that
What
was
do you do?
that was
Was
when
it?
he said, "Do I do comedy?"
Yeah, and you said no. Like just
Yeah.
one word answer.
I wish I'd have said that my day was good because I had a good lasagna at lunch. I had leftover lasagna.
That's what I'm saying. No, there you
Yeah.
go. But look, we all leave there with regrets.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
about
yeah.
that?
So if I could do it over, I'd be nicer to him.
I think your set was very good.
Thanks. Thank you.
Alright.
Thanks.
Say on to the next one.
On to the next one.
Nice.